Heavy rains battering KZN has had a major impact, as you've heard from Pila, on schools in the province. Let's bring in Muzi Mahlambi, who is the spokesperson for the Basic Education Department in KZN. Muzi, it's great to talk to you. Thanks for coming on to 405. Give us a sense of just an overview of how education has been impacted in, I imagine, more so in particular areas than in others.
Good afternoon to you, Michelle, and your viewers at home. The head of department had to be decisive yesterday, giving very clear guidelines as to how schools and offices should manage the situation, because over the weekend we had very heavy rainfalls, which were threatening that today we're not going to have a smooth start of the week. But fortunately, it's warm and nice in Durban and most parts of the province of KZN. But the guidelines in the main were to say, because this rain comes, stops, go. We don't know when again it will hit. But the guidelines are here for 2025. To say, should we have an unforeseen circumstances, this is how you go about managing the situation as the schools.
Yeah, so a slight reprieve today, Muzi, insofar as the weather is concerned. But, you know, we've just spoken to one of our reporters in Isipingo, and he was actually at a pre-primary school, and the location of the school has meant that the water is almost halfway up the wall of the front of the building, the front of that structure. So even though there is this reprieve today, is it still difficult or in some areas impossible for students to go to class?
The guidelines were very clear with regard to that, to say in cases where it is impossible to operate, principals must communicate with the parents to keep their children at home, and then they must come up with a recovery plan in terms of the teaching time that will have been lost. That is why we never issued a circular that was saying close all schools in the province, because schools and areas are affected differently. There are those areas where it is raining, but you can still operate. There are those areas where when it is raining or it has been raining, but the damage is such that you can't still take risk of releasing children to go to school and of expecting children to go to school. So in that regard, principals do know what to say. We are having our district directors that are still taking stock of what will have been disturbed in terms of the number of schools. We have a meeting around 2 that is going to be chaired by the head of department, where districts are going to give an account of which school and how many schools, where they are, where we could not operate, or schools that were not affected in terms of the infrastructure, but roads leading to the school rendered that children could not come.
Yeah, so essentially it's at the discretion of school principals, Muzi. Is that fair to say?
We are giving them that leeway to say we don't want them to say, no, we did not know what to do. The guidelines are very broad and very clear at the same time to say, in case of this is what you should do as the principal. Right. HOD has given that kind of a leeway.
Right. And have you been struggling as the Department of Basic Education in KZN with issues of vandalism and theft at schools that do have to be closed as a result of weather damage?
Not to an extent of closing schools, but yes, mostly when schools are closed during holidays, we experience a lot of those where even the school nutrition food will be stolen, computers will be stolen, electricity cables will be stolen, the water pipes, the taps. When they get to school, they just destroy. Yes, we've been experiencing that, but not to an extent that the school will not be usable when we reopen, because some of the repairs the district can quickly attend to those.
Yeah, I mean, Muzi, just one of the results of all of this is inevitably lost class time, right? Students already spend only a matter of weeks at school and in class during any given term. What we really need to do is ensure that they are in class every single day so that teaching and learning can go ahead.
Unfortunately, the issue of crime in the country affects everyone, whether it's your home, whether it's a church. Schools are not spared from such scourge. We are also experiencing difficulties like any other one in the country that is crying out loud about the crime escalation that we are seeing in the country, and no matter what kind of security measures you have in your own home or schools, but these criminals, when they come, they are so determined that they will get entry into that particular structure.
Muzi, let me thank you for your time this afternoon. Muzi Mahlambi is the spokesperson for the KZN Department of Education as we continue to track the impact of flooding in various parts of the country, but also in KwaZulu-Natal.